Hi, it's Carly McAvoy. Continuing the midterm review, and I'm looking at graphing equations. If you feel like you can already do that, then this review probably isn't necessary for you. Here are the problems I'm going to graph, and I'm going to graph them different ways. Graph an equation just by finding 3 points, graph it by using the slope and y-intercept, graph it by using both intercepts, and then graph a constant like x equals -3 or y equals 5. Okay, so if you're just asked to graph by finding 3 points, you can find any 3 points you want in the universe. So let's say that I decide to find what if x is 0, what if x is 1, and what if y is 2? I can do whatever I want. If x is 0, then I plug 0 in for x and solve for y. And that means y is going to be +6 when I divide both sides by -1. So there's 6. What if x was 1? Then I would plug 1 in for x and solve for y. And here I would be subtracting 2 from both sides and getting -8, so y would be +8. 2 minus 8 would be -6. That makes sense. What if y was 2? Then I have 2x minus 2 is -6. Add 2 to both sides. 2x is -4, and divide both sides by 2, x is -2. So there's my 3 points, and I just found those randomly. As you saw, I just picked them. So now I'm going to plot those onto the graph. If x is 0, y is 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If x is 1, y is 8. It's up there. And if x is -2, y is 2. If I plotted these, if I found the 3 correct points and I plotted them correctly, they should form a line. This looks like it forms nicely into a line. I just connect the 3 points, and there's the graph. And I used 3 points to do that. In the second one, it says graph by first solving for y and then using the slope and the y-intercept. So let me write my equation here. I'm going to solve for y by adding x to both sides. That gives me 3y equals x minus 9. And then I'm going to divide everything by 3. I'm going to write this differently. So I'm going to say y equals x over 3 is the same as 1/3 x. And -9 over 3 is -3. So there's my equation solved for y. What is my slope in this equation? It's 1/3. And what is my y-intercept, which we call b, and that's -3. This is -3 is my y-intercept, and my slope is 1/3. My slope being 1/3 tells me I'm going to go 1 up and 3 over from my starting point of -3. So I start at y equals -3, 1, 2, 3. I go up 1 and over 3. I can go up 1 and over 3 again, and I could keep doing that for as long as I wanted, and I would then form my line like that. So there's that equation graphed. In the next one, it says graph by finding the intercepts. The intercepts are the points you get when you plug 0 in. So the x-intercept is here when y is 0. The y-intercept is here when x is 0. So if I want the y-intercept, I say, what if x was 0? Well, 0 times -2 just drops away, and I get 4y is -6. And dividing both sides by 4, I get y is -3/2, because I'm going to reduce that to lowest terms. So there's my intercept for y. And then I say, what if y is 0? Well, then I get -2x plus 4 times 0 is -6. 4 times 0 drops out. I get -2x is equal to -6. And dividing both sides by -2, I get x equals 3. So now I'm going to plot those 2 points. For -3/2 is -1.5. So I'm going to go down 1.5 right here on the y-axis. My x-intercept on the x-axis is 3. So those are the 2 points I'm looking for. I'm going to graph those by finding a straight line that passes through those 2 points, and there's my graph. Finally, on this, I want to look at what about graphing equations that are constant. That is, x is constantly -3 or y is constantly 5. These are 2 different equations. I want to make sure I show you 2 different graphs over here. For the first one, x is always -3. Y can be whatever I want it to be. I picked 0, 1, and 5. If x is -3, y is 0, y is 1, y is 5. Y is 123. Whatever you want y to be, but when I connect those up, it's going to form a vertical line at -3. So if you were asked to find the equation of a vertical line, it's going to be x equals something, and you just have to see, well, where does that cross? If it crossed here at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, if I had a vertical line here, that would be x equals 7. As it is, we have a vertical line at -3. What about y equals 5? Well, in that case, we say y is always 5, and x can be whatever we want it to be. I put -1, 0, and 3. Well, y is 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me write this down here. X equals -3. That's the vertical line. And then up here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If x is -1, if x is 0, if x is 3. And what happens whenever you have y equals a number then is you get a horizontal line at that number. So this equation, the horizontal equation, is y equals 5, and the vertical one is x equals -3. Okay, have a fantastic day.